Hello, and welcome to Dread and Breakfast, the horror comedy RPG podcast you never asked for. Welcome to the breakfast portion of our show. I am Fabrice.
I'm Marissa.
I'm Christine.
I'm Jacob.
This is the breakfast where we talk about Thalassophobia, the deep sea adventure that we just played.
Was that how you say it?
Maybe.
I've been saying Thalassophobia this whole time.
Oh no.
Thalassophobia?
If you know how to properly pronounce that word that has been the name of our podcast for the past several episodes, mail it to us at dnbpod@somestreet.
Mail a pronunciation guide
to dnbpod@somestreet.usa.org. Okay.
But no,
.gov.
man, this is a wild beginning to the breakfast, and it was a wild ride to play. Holy shit, Fob,
Yes.
how do you feel?
Well, but first we should say if you have not listened to the story that we are about to discuss, you should go back and listen to it because otherwise none of this will make sense. And
Also,
it will be
spoilers.
Full of spoilers.
Spoilers.
How do you feel, friend?
Tired.
That's fair. Can you walk us through what you envisioned? Because you told us how running chromatophobia was.
Running chromatophobia was rough because of our very long break in the middle. But this one, I felt much better about this one pretty much throughout.
I think we were more prepared for this one as well.
We were much more prepared
We're
for this
getting
one.
better.
We're actually becoming podcasters.
Look at us.
Which is I guess a thing that was bound to happen just through the sheer will of time and us not giving up. So that's nice. But yeah, no, I felt a lot better about this one going into it. I felt a lot better about this one throughout. I still hate listening to the roughs because I just hate listening to myself DM, but that was a thing that was necessary. But I didn't mind listening to these ones. This one was good. I liked it.
What was your your vision for it? Did you have a clear picture of Cthulhu monster, etc.?
So if any of our listeners are familiar with the Magnus Archives, which if they're not, they should go and listen to them.
So good.
Basically, there are a bunch of core fears that people are afraid of, and I find it useful to envision which ones of those I want to target during a particular dread.
Oh.
The three or maybe two that I wanted to target for this last dread were the vast,
which is the fear of what?
Which is the fear of vast, deep, open spaces.
Yep, check.
So like an ocean.
Got that.
Like an ocean, yeah.
For example.
The stranger, which is fear of something kind of like you, but different in some way.
Check, got it.
So that was the
Everyone is afraid of Billy.
Yeah, no,
maybe.
We'll get there.
It was more the fish people. But
Yeah, I was making a joke.
That's fair. Sorry. And then the other one, which was the corruption, which
that's the
is
fear
just
of
it's the fear. I mean, it's more in the show. It's more fear of insects and
rot
and stuff and dirt and grime. This one, I took that in a different direction. I think
with
the octopus thing too.
with
it,
Hate it.
Yeah,
you definitely got me with that one.
Yeah.
Even over Discord, that was horrifying.
Oh, good. That makes me really happy. Which is a weird thing. I guess that's kind of one of the fun and weird things about running a horror podcast with your friends is you get to say fun lines. Someone says, "Oh yeah, that was horrifying." You go, "Oh good, that's what I was trying to do." And
sometimes you scream, "Why won't you die?" at your friends.
I got frustrated towards the end, you all.
I feel it was fun. It was fun because there was almost this it made us even more of a team to be you can't kill us. Yeah. We're united, even though that had nothing to do with it. But I definitely felt that way.
I liked I always like playing the bad guy in when I DM something.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked playing that up even as not a character, but as myself, just being fucking die now, please.
So
it's time.
Did you have any heartbreaking Abbott level monologues of death for us?
Oh yeah, how were you gonna kill us?
So
excited.
so you're very excited for that. It really depended on when the tower fell. If the tower fell in the first episode, I wasn't going to kill you because, one, I didn't think that would make for super entertaining audio for like a listener, because then it's like, oh, one of these voices is just gone now, and I didn't really have a way to reintroduce a character back into the podcast.
And a heck of a lot of stuff happened in the episodes after the first one. Like the first one was mainly exposition, which it usually is, but usually like
the first
character
one's like
development, exposition, world building.
Yeah, getting to know the characters and getting to know the cast. But if you had knocked the tower over, you would have been doomed. And I did have a plan for it this time, as opposed to the Abbott, like nothing happens. And that was that you were going to get a tear in your dry suit. And then when you took off your dry, which would have been fine. That doesn't affect like pressure or anything. That just you would have been cold, which like sucks, but like it's not game ending. But you would have gotten also like a small cut on you. And then from out of that cut, you would have, oh, like sharks would have come? No.
Sharks emanate from the cut.
Yes. No, actually, the thing I was thinking was much more sinister. It was like barnacles would start growing on you from that zone.
Is that a thing?
Wait. So does that imply, this is interesting because I thought the barnacles on the box were just from old sea stuff.
Oh, no, Marissa.
Could Cthulhu Monster control barnacles, or did fish people control barnacles to keep that shit down there?
Fish people did not control barnacles. It was more like this area of the sea was kind of like cursed. And so the if you get injured here, the curse gets into you kind of thing. Like there's a reason why there's a reason why no one came back from the other missions.
Yeah. I was wondering where the bodies were.
Well, you know,
Bodies hit the
let the bodies hit the barnacles. Let the bodies hit the barnacles.
This is a really great joke. Oh my gosh, my cats are circling like sharks.
They are
right
like
now.
little sharks right now.
It's almost time for me to feed them. Anyway,
Dun, dun.
Speaking of the other salvage missions, what was in those gas tanks?
Yeah.
Just air.
Okay.
It was just air.
I thought that it would be...
Like it would have been like slightly, I guess, stale, and depending on. So okay, I liked
This air tastes a bit stale to me.
I leave myself some room in like the skeleton of the story that I write for like, okay, if you guys start depending on this other source of air for a thing, well, now it's going to have some kind of effect. So if you had started like relying on it, then it's like, oh, this air has been down here for too long, and so now it has maybe a slight hallucinogenic property. And so you start seeing things or stuff like that.
Is that a thing?
Is that a thing?
It's y'all. It's
In a cursed sea.
in a cursed
sea.
in a cursed sea. It is. But yeah, that was the other air, and in the other tanks, it was just air. My thought was that their vessel had been sunk by the fish people to like prevent them from leaving.
Oh, that's spooky.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that we've asked this every time, but it's also very interesting to me. Was there anything that we did as players that surprised you or took you off guard?
Oh God, so much.
That's always the answer too.
So no, with this one there was like even more than, because I thought no.
More than hitting a guy with a pipe.
Shut up.
Spicy Henry.
So
Came out of left field.
Yeah. So okay, I didn't envision in my grand, I'm
sorry, the character that I pitched to you that was Henry Oatmeal Lover was not spicy. You did not get that from
No, I wasn't tasting the spice from Henry in his character sheet. However, I do love that angle came out. I thought that was really fun. But I would say on the list of stuff I didn't expect, Spicy Henry at the bottom. Not that he wasn't great, but like just the bones of the story that I had. So you remember that part in episode 2 when the detonations go off and nothing happens?
Yeah, why didn't they work?
Yeah, okay, we'll get to that. But I thought
Billy wants to know still.
I know. but I thought that would be the end of episode 1.
Oh.
I didn't think episode 1 would be quite as
Oops-a-daisy.
drawn out as it was. I think it's good. Like, and again, dear listener, like, I don't think you wasted your time. I think we did good stuff with it, but I was imagining like a faster pace.
But you're the DM. It's never fast when you're the DM.
Like, no, I get that.
I
but
love you, but it's never fast when you're the DM.
How did you
That's
describe it? A
fair.
slow burn?
But I wasn't imagining quite as much splitting up at the
That's
like,
fair.
we get down to the bottom. Okay, well, I'm gonna go this way and I'm gonna go this way. And I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
There was
that happened.
treasure, though. I had to look at it.
That happened in Kalamazoo as well.
Yeah. It was basically like that. I wasn't expecting to be juggling between quite as many different scenes as we were in the first one. So I thought that it would go a little bit faster if everyone had been together.
You managed it very well, though.
Yes.
But eventually, once we were like 2 hours into recording, and it was like, oh, this is going to be the first episode. Okay. So then I had to do a lot of restructuring in my head, and I did a lot of writing that week about, okay, I don't think we can finish it in 2 then, because we haven't really set up what the main spooky thing is going to be. So it has to now at least be 3.
Were you initially planning for only 2 parts?
I was kind of hoping, yeah.
Wow.
So like, because if you think about it,
we derailed that.
well, if the boat fails to rise at the end of episode 1, episode 2 is you guys going down, you guys discovering the chasm, and then this is another thing that I didn't expect to kind of happen. I didn't foresee the tragic love between
I love that. I'm going to put a pin in that because I want to talk
Sure.
about that in a minute too.
No, but I
love
did not
story.
foresee the tragic love between Bartholomew Orchid and the captain. So I didn't think that the person who had been set up to be kind of like in it for the cash would be very a stickler for the rules of no, we cannot open the box.
I remember after we got done with the episode where like we lose the box and we surface and Bartholomew's like looking out over the ocean. I remember after that, like you looking at me and being like, I don't know how to get you guys back in the fucking water.
Yeah, because I'm like, I wouldn't go back in that fucking water.
I didn't want
No.
to.
We got cash up front. Let's throw Orchid over the
But
side
then
and just go
Captain
home.
Penn over here with his immaculate, like, no, like we got to do this by the. It was so
His
good.
destiny.
Yeah.
No, I love that we played into that because that
was fun.
It
really
was
good.
both very fun. It was like a direction that I didn't see the story going, which is always like wonderful for me. And then it was also, it gave me the much needed hook to get you guys to go back in the damn water.
That was kind of fun getting to, I feel like at that point we as a group got to brainstorm a little bit about where the story could go. And I know like at least you and I, like we FaceTimed at some point during the week between when we recorded those and just like shot ideas around. And that was fun to get to kind of help you write it a little bit.
No,
I was not invited to be a part of this creative process.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Run a dread and then maybe you will.
No, that's not it. Jacob, I think you had already put yourself in the creative process just by like being open to Bartholomew Orchid's advances and just like playing with me in that kind of space. Like I guess the last thing that I did not, well, there's probably more. The last thing on my mind that I did not expect at all was it's strange to me how Abbott made like 2 pulls that like no pulls were made during Chromatophobia. So I was thinking that maybe someone would die at some point.
Winds of
Honestly,
the tower.
like so was I. Like when we started the last episode or whatever, I'm like, okay, which one of us is going to die? Like it looked so
I was
bad.
prepared that one of us was gonna die.
I was thinking into episode 2 even. I was like, okay, it's already kind of rickety. Someone's probably going to die this episode because I know what you guys are going. Like I had all of episode 2. I was like, okay, I know that this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to go down. Again, I thought you would try to you would open the box, which would have been more polls. But like, so I was ready for that, which didn't happen. But there were still, I feel like, a lot of polls happening in episode 2.
That was part of the reason why Billy fought the way that she did, because I mentally, as a player, was prepared going into our last recording session to be like, all right, I'm going to die. Let's just like play this out and see where it goes. No fear.
I loved that turn in Billy, though. Like, I was like,
ooh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
Billy awoke this morning and chose hatred.
Yeah, honestly. But no, I think because after the episode, we made a couple more polls. And how many was it before it fell?
4?
Like 4?
Yeah, it was only 4.
Yeah,
it was
so
really
we were
upsetting.
real close. The algorithm was in our favor. Thank you.
But like
Jose.
listening back to the Raws, there's only like, I think maybe 2 points where I would have made someone poll,
Or there were a couple refused polls, I think.
There were a couple refused polls, but there were like 2 points where I was like, oh, I probably should have made this person poll here. Oh, that should have been a poll. Like, but there were only, I think, like 2.
Every poll counts, ladies and gents.
But that's interesting that even if I had gone like full hardcore mode on all of you, the tower wouldn't have fallen, which is just, it's a bummer.
You can't kill us. We're bad bitches.
Billy certainly is.
Indeed.
I would really like to circle back to Bartholomew and the Captain, though, because
Bartholomew in the first place.
Yes.
I know where you're going, but I was surprised when Fob popped out with only one NPC.
Yeah.
Given how many NPCs we've had in previous Dreads.
If you think about it, there were 3 other NPCs. They were just more like monster NPCs.
But they were, I guess, but like,
but no, you're right.
You only really wrote like a personality for one. So why did you decide to go with just one other character, like fully fleshed out character?
That's partly me, I think maybe overcorrecting, but one, I didn't want there to be a lot of like onboard distractions for you guys, because I didn't think the story would be in like us.
Whoops.
No, Jacob, no.
We ruined that.
No. Your stuff was not a distraction. Yours was a gift.
I loved that. I loved the way that played out. That was so cool.
And it was so like, I loved Bartholomew and the Captain because it was so organic. Like, I was giggling like a school kid because like I love, and it was just so like, I was just like, oh, yes, let's make this happen. And I was just so delighted.
Yeah, and I didn't go into that expecting anything to happen. I went in looking for information, but it ended up being a nice time.
You found a soulmate for exactly like 12 hours, and then he did try to cut your air supply at the end.
Yeah. The ultimate betrayal.
That wasn't really his fault.
But no, all I wanted to say about the romance is that I adored it. I think you both played it very well. It started off as like a goof, and then you're like, oh no, like this is actually something really meaningful, and it came to fruition in a really interesting way. I don't know. I think you guys did a great job with it. I love it. I ship it. Get it? It's that's so stupid. Anyway.
Where were we?
Oh, we were talking about Orchid.
I don't remember.
I was just asking why you decided to only do one NPC.
Oh, it's because I didn't want the story to be on the ship. I wanted it to be like, we have to go down kind of thing. I also didn't like, I was like, oh, what NPCs could I make? Oh, I could make like a deckhand or like, and like, you know, like, I don't know.
When we were initially pitching characters, we talked about having like some side chaos humor character that was like the chef of the ship or whatever.
And I don't know, I didn't.
That felt too Carson, I think.
That felt too Carson. That felt, that just wasn't, I don't know. It just wasn't something that I wanted to explore with this one. I wanted it to be more about like you all interacting with each other than there being like NPCs that anyone has to remember or anything.
I really felt like we were deep into the character bonds between the 3 salvagers.
Yes.
And that I loved that because I love building characters and intertwining them. So that was really fun, and I think it helped us take the story to another level. I know we got super emotional in the third session.
Can I ask about the backstory between Billy and the Captain, because I don't know it at all, but like, what is that about? Please explain.
Do you want to go or should I?
Completely forgot it.
Oh! So Billy and the captain have known each other for a very long time because Billy grew up in some hard circumstances, was basically on her own.
Oh, yikes.
But showed this prowess for demolitions. And so when Billy and the captain met, Billy was like probably a teenager, like very young.
Really?
Yes. And the captain took her under his wing and kind of like became the like quasi father figure in her life.
Wow.
But also is her boss, and they have this company. So it's, it's very intertwined.
Oh, wow.
But definitely that was like kind of a father-child dynamic happening.
Wow, that makes like the depth of all of the captains and Billy's interactions like so. Ooh, guys, that's really good.
It worked out well. I might have remembered it when we were recording. I don't remember this today. I mean, it sounds familiar, but
Well, I think even though like we didn't remember the specifics of it, like that emotion was still rememberable, and that dynamic was memorable. So that makes it. Yes.
Yep.
Listen, I'm bilingual. It's hard sometimes.
That's fair.
Jacob, can you tell us about the inspiration for Cap'n Pen? I'm pretty sure we alluded to it, but I love it so much.
I don't know if... I mean, we alluded to it. I don't know if it's very clearly. I was struggling to figure out what a sea captain would be excited about. And then I thought treasure. And then I thought treasure, the 2004 Disney classic, National Treasure.
Of course.
Clearly. I remembered this on my way home from work. I went home. I watched like the first 5 minutes of this movie. Said, I remember what this movie is. And then I went upstairs and then I wrote my entire character sheet. And then I went back to work and then I went back and I watched the rest of the movie. And I was like, oh, the first 5 minutes has a pretty different tone than the rest of the movie. But I did already lock into this and it worked.
The first 5 minutes is like this, like
it's basically the backstory for the movie, like why
Like
they're
baby
into the
Nicolas
treasure and
Cage,
stuff.
yeah. And then the next like rest of movie is like a heist, basically.
Yes.
So you were just Nicolas Cage, the seafaring man, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, no,
was
my character
very
sheet
good.
reads a lot like the first 5 minutes of National Treasure. I'm sorry,
so
the
good.
2004 Disney classic, National Treasure.
I
course.
believe you texted me and you said, Fob, I have my character stuff down. I may or may not be based off someone. And then you sent me like a gif of Nicolas Cage or something. And then I was like,
Oh no.
what? And I looked in this, and then I looked and I was like, oh, this is excellent. Oh, this is fantastic.
But was there anything else about Captain or Billy that didn't come out that you would like to share today?
Gosh. Honestly, I think more came out of Billy than I was expecting.
Gross.
Because there was a moment. Oh no! Gross and bad.
Why are you the way you are sometimes?
Why does more stuff have to come out of Billy than you were expecting?
Anyway,
Yeah. When I was playing Billy, like I found myself just really naturally leaning into the. Well, first of all, like Billy's backstory, she's carrying a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
So like that heightens the emotion for her in anything that she experiences. And then when Patrice essentially was betraying her and ending up to be this person that she never expected, like I then personally was like catapulted back into a time in my own life when I experienced that. But the thing is that like so I do a lot of acting, right? And like part of the reason why I love to act is it's because you can, like life is random and we don't always get to choose what experiences we find ourselves in. And so when you act, like I always find it to be very rewarding when I can take like a past experience that was super intense or maybe even super negative and like channel that into a performance because it gives that pain more meaning.
yeah,
And purpose.
yeah,
And so I know it's just like our silly podcast, but like I really enjoyed the process of like tapping into that past hurt and making something of it.
Yeah.
And in a way that was healing for me. Like I am past that event in my life,
right?
But I still carry it with me. And so it was cool to then turn it from something that I just kind of like drag around with my person and like see it more as a tool to create something.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thanks.
Okay, but so why did the charges fail?
Yeah, why did the charges fail?
You were getting bad advice from Patrice. It wasn't Patrice that was talking to you
Patrice
about where to
told
put
her.
the
Yeah.
So it was Billy's fault?
Yeah, it was Billy's fault. It was 100% Billy's fault.
No! Man!
The charges were in the wrong spot.
Whoa.
I still blame the newbie.
Hey, now listen.
Because see, my rolling theory was that the fish people interacted with the charges and moved them.
No. Well, I mean, yes, in that the Cthulhu squid thing was the one giving you the bad info on where to put them in the first place.
But she did the calculations above the water.
There was a specific scene where Patrice is like, put it right there.
Yeah, it was.
Put
We
it
were
right
under
there.
when we were
Right
setting
there's a
the
good spot.
charges. Patrice
right there's
moved
the
them.
spot.
Yeah,
You got it, Billy.
You got in my head. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Wait, so were the currents in the water from the fish people?
100%, yeah.
Okay,
That was from them
man.
swimming
Those
away from
fuckers
you.
are fast.
Yeah.
Yikes.
They live there.
Yikes. And then so with
I'm sorry. I'm still processing the fact that my reality of the story is wrong.
I have retroactively blown my friend's mind.
Well, no, because one of my working theories was wrong because I was convinced that the pull and the mind control were the fish people, but really that was Cthulhu Monster Scary.
Oh.
Correct? And
Yes.
the fish people were just drawn to Cthulhu because
he is influential.
Very
is influential.
influential.
Yeah.
No, but everything underwater was so scary. Was the Patrice her scary voice? Did you plan that from the beginning, or did you improv that?
No, I 100% planned that. That
from the
was,
beginning?
I mean,
Wait,
yeah,
look.
Christine gave me oh yes, I am a person who talks to a rock, and I'm like, yeah,
And the rock
that's
comes
gonna,
back.
That's gonna be a rock the whole time. No chance of this ever being something else, something more.
I feel like sometimes when we're writing these character sheets, it's like, it's this little quirky thing that my character will do. And it's like, I'm learning that these little quirks are going to come back to haunt me, literally.
No. They're good quirks. The quirks are good. The quirks are what I can sink my fangs into.
Yay!
So we've talked about all our other characters. Marissa, tell me about Henry.
about
Yeah,
Henry.
speaking of rocks, my lovely oatmeal boy. One of the questions on the character sheet had something to do with like how do you feel about the crew? And I'm like, oh yeah, Henry kind of feels like an outsider. I'm the new guy. And then I had no idea how much of an outsider he would be vis-a-vis your backstory. So
Oh man, but the moment when Henry does finally I mean, I guess it was not courage so much as panic, but the moment when he does finally decide no, I'm going down.
Or the moment when he's down below and he's like, no, you need to listen to me now.
Yeah.
I have words to say and you will shut up and hear them. That was very cool.
But no, Henry, I was very nervous about playing him, but I do.
Why?
I don't know. I wasn't very confident in what he would become. And then I was happy with where he ended up. I do want to hit because I don't know if any of these came up. Henry was very superstitious. And I had a list of sailing superstitions.
Yes, please read these for us.
From the New Zealand Maritime Museum website. I would just like to sample a few of these.
Please do.
It is bad luck to change the name of a boat. If you do, you have to have an official denaming ceremony and rechristen it.
I have a question.
Yes.
What does a denaming ceremony look like?
I have no idea.
How many goats must be sacrificed on board?
Well, it's
to
funny that you
officially
mentioned
dename?
Why do you
goat.
always go to goats?
It's funny
It's
that you
always
mentioned a goat.
goats.
What's
Why?
wrong? What's wrong with goats?
Because it is unlucky to set off at the start of the fishing season without first having shed some blood in a fight or accident, or I guess goat sacrifice.
Oh no.
Losing a hat overboard was an omen that the trip would be long. This one's one of my personal favorite. Eggshells which we did not use because we had pizza rolls, had to be broken into tiny pieces once an egg was cracked. It was meant to stop witches coming to the ship to sail in the pieces of the shell.
I love that so much. Yes, I would sail upon this
hoping
eggshell.
that eggs would make an appearance in the story, and they didn't.
We gotta find more reasons to use our witch voices, Fabrice.
Yeah, we do.
You have a spectacular witch voice.
Oh, one last thing. No bananas on board.
None.
They were believed to be so unlucky they would cause the ship to be lost. Whole cargoes of bananas were especially frightening.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, so hold on.
Can you imagine? What else? So what are we shipping around today?
Bananas.
Some bananas. What?
Or even,
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if, like, does the banana cause the ship to be lost because, like, it slips on it and it falls? Or...
So, okay, I do want to circle back to a few more things about Orchid.
Yes.
First of all, what does GO stand for?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
the O stands for orchid.
Yeah,
Okay, we got that.
What's the
Okay.
G? Tell us the G.
The G is just his old ancestor's name.
Which is
Gregory.
You're
Joffrey.
very close.
Greg?
Gerald.
Gregorian.
Gregorian Orchid is a very solid
Gregorian
name.
Orchid.
I thought that sounded old.
Like the Gregorian calendar?
Yeah. It's named after
Sure.
a dude. So
Dumb and silly.
Yeah, Gregory.
Gregorius.
But also, what would have happened to
Yes.
Orchid if we had let him and Cthulhu come up above the water onto the ship?
Y'all wouldn't have made it back home. I'll tell you that much. That's just...
So was
Would he have done? Would he have done an Ursula transformation and grown to be like 4 times the size, and we'd have to
hate
run
it.
through him with the bow of the ship?
Oh no.
That happens in the
no,
children's movie Little Mermaid.
I do remember that. No. It would have been... Well, now my thing sounds silly and I'm embarrassed.
Tell us.
He would have just, like, eaten your boat. And then he would have gotten bigger and he would have eaten, like,
Because he
you
was trying
guys.
to eat us.
Yeah.
Kind of.
He would have just eaten you guys.
Like merged with us, question
Absorbed.
mark. Like merged with Orchid.
Ingested.
Hate it. But so Orchid was an orc's agent.
Was an orc. I mean, yeah, I guess the long and short of it is he was an orc's agent who has this like family myth, this very National Treasure-esque destiny. His destiny. But he never was able to like convince the higher ups at his company, like, hey, this thing is real. Hey, we should investigate. And they were like, fuck you. Do your own shit. And
so does
he was
He's
just
got
like,
a chip on his shoulder to
he
begin
went
with.
he went AWOL and was just like, I'm gonna fund it myself. And then he did. And then they didn't come back. And then he went himself.
How do all of your main characters have so much money?
Yeah.
It's that, you know, it makes their lives
convenience.
It makes
God
my life
makes them rich.
so much more easy.
But so what happens to him then?
Now?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Oh.
Well, yeah, because didn't the whole thing end with going back down and there was like another eye that opens?
Yeah, the whole thing ends and like the very end is just 2 yellow eyes opening. So now there are 2 eyes in the bigger mass.
So is it that he's taken over and he's stolen his eyes? What's happened?
What does he do?
What's happened, Fabrice? You must tell us.
I don't.
No.
There's just a spooky thing out in the world now.
Can't wait to go swimming.
Who wants to go
Yay.
swimming in the ocean? Don't worry,
Not
guys. He's in the
me.
Pacific one, very specifically because, as we know, the real treasure's in the Atlantic.
The Drake.
Speaking of secrets, guys,
Yeah.
it's time for a segment we haven't done in a while. Things Jacob cut out of the podcast but really wants to share anyway.
It's back and I'm scared because it's probably me being an idiot.
It is you being an idiot. How did you know?
What have you brought for us
All
today?
right, so some context for this one. You, the listener, have probably actually already heard this audio.
Oh, I know what it is.
This.
May I?
Yes, please.
So when I was editing the first episode of Kalamazoo, Charlie was like backstage. I'm like, oh, how do I make it sound like he's backstage of a show? I could have Eileen talking in the background giving the show. I said to Christine, hey, could you record some dialogue of Eileen giving a show? It doesn't really matter what you say.
And boy, did I.
And what she gave us was just so
Pure
beautiful.
gold. Pure gold.
Jacob, I'm so
this is all
excited.
completely off the cuff.
Yes. All right. Here we go.
Our first animal that we have here is our giant boa constrictor. His name is Shane, and Shane here is 74 feet long. Can you believe it? When he came to us, he was just a mere 3 inches, but just goes to show that when you eat right and get enough sleep, you too can grow to be 17 times the size that you once were. Now, the boa constrictor was first founded in the Jurassic period, when our great ancestors came together and made a sacrifice to the snake gods. In exchange for their immunity, the snake gods then put this giant monster on the earth to roam free. We still don't know how to get rid of them because they have no natural predators except for themselves. Occasionally, the boa constrictor knows when it is too long, and it will self-destruct by beginning to eat the end of its tail and continuing along until suddenly its whole mouth engulfs. And then I made myself laugh. I started laughing. And continues along until the mouth finally engulfs itself, wrapping around and disappearing into the ether. Scientists are still confused, but we're so lucky to have this mysterious monster here at the Kalamazoo. Thanks so much, Shane. Let's give a round of applause for Shane so that he doesn't get too mad at his handler and end up eating all of us. Is that enough?
Is that enough?
So when Charlie is trying to get these birds ready, this is the joy that the audience.
Oh man. Well, and I also like that in the Slack then when you were editing, you were like, you've given me the power to make a crowd cheer wildly upon hearing about the sacrifice to the snake gods.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because I was wondering, was it a goat that they did sacrifice to the snake gods?
Word.
I do have another one.
Another one?
Oh.
This one's short and sweet and needs no introduction, I think. And I hope it will let me play it.
I can't be having that right now. I need to go and talk to... Pulling up his name. I'm pulling up his name. Aiden? Aiden.
Oh, I love how much of our vamping is just coming up with little songs. Yeah.
We will be putting out an album one day at this rate.
Yes.
I have a bad time remembering names, everybody.
The social boy.
Yeah.
That's yeah. It's funny because it's that wasn't exactly I did just forget Aiden's name again.
Jacob, thank you for bringing my favorite segment back into this podcast.
Oh, thank you for saying funny things for me to share with our many, many listeners.
Ripperoonie.
All 8,000.
LOL. Try 8. But
no, we
somewhere between those two numbers.
My other favorite segment that we do on this breakfast.
Oh, what is it?
It's your Christine's Corner.
Shall we transition into Christine's Cozy Kitchen?
Let us go into the kitchen. Do 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 do.
Okay.
Bum ba da bum ba ba bum ba ba bum ba da bum ba bum 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 ba da bum.
Oh, you're walking backwards.
Ba 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 bum.
Oh no. What is that?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the breakfast portion of Dread and Breakfast, where I create something either blessed or cursed, and everyone else has to taste it and tell me how good I did at the insane thing that I made. So today... we're just going to dive in.
Fried French toast.
No, everyone stop. So I smell cinnamon, which is delightful.
That is correct.
It does look like you just fucking French toast some ravioli. Like really chunky.
You are close, actually. Why don't we take a bite and take a taste?
Oh, no. Okay.
Do we need forks or is this finger food?
Nah, it's finger food.
Are we about to burn ourselves?
It just came
Is it
out.
going to burn me?
I feel like burning is probably part of the experience.
I don't like
Can
that.
I opt out of that portion of
I
the
would like
experience?
to not be part of that experience,
You
please.
did. It's a beautiful golden color.
Uh-huh.
It's beautifully even, kind of.
Is it?
Well,
I think one
it's-
side is a little.
It's even if I squint my eyes very, very much. Okay.
All right, let's do a taste.
All right. Three,
Three,
two,
two, one.
one. Burn yourself. Cinnamon apple streusel.
There is no apple in this.
So it's definitely French toast.
It is.
It's
It
also
is-
definitely ravioli.
I don't think it's ravioli though. There's no pasta dough.
I'm not the only one that. Okay. What's the fruit center? What's the fruit filling?
I don't think it's fruit, my friend.
It's not fruit.
It tastes like fruit.
I don't know about that.
Is it a meat?
No.
Is it
A
egg?
vegetable?
No, you guys are like way overthinking this.
Is it just more bread?
No.
I will have to say the French toast itself is immaculate. You did an excellent job.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. No, that was very tasty. It got a good crunch.
It's like I detect some cinnamon, maybe some almond extract in it.
Just cinnamon, no
Dang it.
almond.
Just kidding.
There is another spice in there, but I feel like we've played the Guess the Spice game every
we
single
have.
time. So I'll just tell you that the other spice is nutmeg.
Oh, that makes sense.
Appropriate.
That makes sense.
So the center is kind of for our listeners who cannot see it, a borderline gelatinous.
Why
Yeah.
does everything I make borderline gelatinous?
This is a you thing. This is your thing.
Is this my through line?
This is your brand, borderline gelatinous.
not in a bad way. I will say the filling has been absorbed by the
Yeah.
bread, which isn't bad. It tastes delightful.
It's
I'm just
kinda
trying to.
custardy.
Yes.
That's not what I had in my head. I was hoping to get more of like a lava consistency, if you will.
Oh.
But that did not occur.
I still
I
don't
tried
know.
to freeze. Here's a hint. I tried to freeze whatever is in the middle. And then I learned that this substance does not freeze. I mean, I suppose it would freeze at
Whoa.
like a temperature low enough, but that temperature is not achievable by my freezer.
Is the center alcoholic in nature?
No, it is not.
Dang it.
This is a family-friendly activity.
I cannot distinguish the filling.
This is
What
really
does the
surprising.
filling taste like to you?
More French toast.
Okay.
Okay,
No,
you guys are
there's-
seriously overthinking this.
Can you blame us?
You could just tell us and
You
end
did
this whole
make
thing.
pickle. Wait, no, stop. Hold. Everyone, pause. Pause the podcast. Pause the podcast. No. You're blaming us for overthinking things, but we have been trained. What was it last
I have
time?
conditioned you.
Pickle. Well, it was pickle cotton candy. So like,
And I thought that I would reward you with something much similar. You're all gonna kick yourselves when I tell you what it is. Should I just tell you?
Yes,
Yes.
tell us.
It's maple syrup.
oh,
Yeah.
So you have all just enjoyed.
You can't freeze maple syrup.
No, apparently not.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I put it in my freezer for like 2 days and it did not freeze.
But anyway,
Well, you have all just experienced the world's first French toast, not pizza rolls.
Ooh.
that's so good.
French toast pizza roll.
Not pizza rolls.
Not pizza roll. So walk me through the process of how you get a liquid inside of a French toast pizza roll.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know because clearly it turned into like a custardy.
But I could
type
taste the
filling.
maple. I was
Yes.
just confusing maple with the other sweet, like a dum-dum, because my palate's not refined, as we have learned listening to me try to guess shit.
I mean, I
all
thought
the
it was
time.
apple. So like,
Yeah, that's
it tasted like some kind of fruity thing to me.
basically it's Wonder Bread, and you cut little squares and you make a divot in it, and then you pour maple syrup in the divot. In my brain, the maple syrup would be frozen so that when you fry it, it liquefies.
Oh, yeah.
And then because it's Wonder Bread, you just like smash it into a ravioli shape. This is also another instance of, in my head, it looked completely different, and then I made it and I was like, this is ravioli. So good job, Jacob.
Yes.
So you smush them together and then you dip it in regular French toast mix, which is just egg with milk, and I used cinnamon and nutmeg and a little bit of vanilla extract.
Okay.
And then you fry it.
Now, we are all sitting at a table, and your kitchen is about 8 steps behind a door.
Indeed.
We did hear you scream about 4 times during the frying process.
Because here's my process. When I cook, it's like, oh, la, 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 let's prepare the ingredients. Time to cook. Oh my goodness, it is time to panic. It is my professional opinion that now is the time to panic. Name that movie.
That's a good cooking method.
Monsters Inc., if anyone was wondering.
That's it. I was like, wait, I am being summoned back to the depths of my childhood.
Yes. But yeah, so you just fry them a minute on each side and then serve them up, and hopefully it doesn't congeal too bad.
It wasn't.
Delicious.
So I said borderline gelatinous. It was, like Fob said, more of like a mapley custard, which was really, really good. Because when you first brought up this thing, I was expecting something horrendous to gush out inside and maybe spray me in the face.
I wanted it to do that. That was the goal.
But if I were to be sprayed in the face with maple syrup, I would be delighted. Because
Would you though?
as opposed to the now I want you to look at that.
No, stop. Pause.
No. I said no first.
I think I said no first.
Okay, please continue.
Would you actually want to be like gooshed in the face with like maple syrup? Because that's bad. That's bad.
No, I don't.
That's a bad time.
I don't want to be assaulted by any of my food, but what I would like to say is that take a look at this one lone pizza roll still on the plate.
Pizza roll.
Not pizza roll.
Ravioli,
not pizza roll.
Legally distinct from Jenga.
Look at that. And then I just need you to think of the possibilities of what could be lurking inside there that is not maple syrup.
Marinara sauce.
Would be good.
But I am allergic to that, so I would not make it.
That's fair.
But
continue.
oh no, you're good. I was just like, oh no, what horrible brand of seafood canned monstrosity did you put in here?
Oh,
And I was really afraid.
tuna French toast.
Oh,
Tuna French.
No. I don't know about that.
I think I could make that work. I don't
Could
know
you
how.
explain?
I feel like I could maybe make that work. I don't know.
Like-
maybe a sriracha mayo is also maybe like a little bit of a spice.
Yeah, you would definitely need to like add in something to the
Not just
dip
straight
for the
tuna.
bread to make it more savory.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Wonder Bread would work because it has a pretty high sugar content, I think.
You'd need a different kind of bread.
Yeah. But the trouble with that is that Wonder Bread, I picked Wonder Bread for its smooshability.
I feel like all bread smooshes.
Not all bread smooshes maybe all bread smooshes.
But not like
but
Wonder
not
Bread.
like Wonder Bread.
Hello, this podcast brought to you by Wonder Bread. Wonder Bread, hit us up.
Please.
Did you perform a smooshability test on different breads before selecting Wonder Bread?
No. Although I will say, so I was at like a video shoot for part of one of my jobs this week, and we had Wonder Bread as a prop, and I didn't know that we were like going to. So I saw this, and we had half a loaf left over after the shoot, and I was like, this is perfect. I need Wonder Bread this week. And everyone at the shoot just kind of looked at me and they're like, this week? What?
I only need Wonder Bread this 1 week and
I don't
never
usually
again.
need it. Sorry,
No,
Wonder Bread.
it's-
Please sponsor us. I mean, I need it all the time.
Now, I circling back just a little bit, I'm very glad that you weighed in on your professional French toast opinion, Fob, because I'm about to put your ass on blast right now.
Oh.
You French toast leftover pizza
Yeah.
on the reg,
Yeah.
which
Wait,
is
what?
distressing to
Yes.
me.
No, I want to try that.
Thank you, Christine.
But it's also me, and today I ate a chicken foot, so
I'm sorry?
Oh, that's fair. Those aren't bad. So what's wrong with French toasting your pizza?
It just baffles me. Like now, I will be fair. To be fair, I have not tried it. I have only seen pictures.
yeah.
No, because every
Yeah.
time
I
Fob
call bullshit.
No.
Again, I'm going to put Fob on blast right now. He's like,
How
oh my
you
gosh.
You can't put me on blast. You haven't tried it. You don't know that it's
I
not
have
good.
not tried it because
So?
every time we have had leftover pizza, you've been like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to French toast this pizza. And do you save me any? No, you do not. Do you make it when I am home? No, you do not.
I'm sorry
So
I make
just
it
get-
on my weekend for lunch
Trouble
and
in
breakfast.
paradise.
I'm sorry that it's my weekend breakfast to myself. I get 2 days a week to eat breakfast, and I take one of them to eat French toast
my
pizza.
dude, what are you doing with your life if you are not eating breakfast 7 days a week? Breakfast is one of man's pure joys. This breakfast was inspired by something that we discussed during recording, and I don't know if it got cut out of the episode. in the second episode, we have breakfast, and someone joked that he was making the leftover pizza rolls. And someone said, breakfast pizza rolls? And I said, well, I know what I'm doing for breakfast.
That's amazing.
And then I went through a bunch of iterations of how to do this, including a wonton wrapper just filled with maple syrup.
Whoa!
But then you wouldn't have the French toast aspect. So
that's true.
You could French toast a wonton wrapper.
Could you? I don't know.
Like what? You can soak anything in egg.
I mean, so listener, with the recipe, I will also include the brainstorming of other ways to make French toast, not pizza rolls. Please try these at home and tell us what you had success with. Also, if anyone figures out how to freeze maple syrup, let me know, because I'm curious.
Can I recommend maple sugar? And it will absorb moisture from around it and become liquid again.
I had a different tact. You have an ice cream maker. Maple syrup ice cream.
So now it's like a French toast fried ice cream situation.
Yes.
Whoa.
That's wild. I would argue not breakfast, but
You can have dessert breakfast. What are toaster strudel or Pop-Tarts?
you know
if
what?
not
You know
dessert
what?
breakfast?
I stand corrected.
You're
Sorry, I zoned out because I was thinking about ways to make breakfast ice cream.
What should our ratings? I think rating wise,
Eggs?
Toast?
eggs.
Oh, it's eggs. It's
Absolutely,
eggs.
Pizza rolls. Come on now.
That's too much.
That's too on brand. I feel that's too easy.
Oh, should we rate it based on cabbages?
God, please no.
Oh, no, we are still going to. We do still have
No.
to give
No,
it a
we don't.
cabbage
No,
and
we
a
don't.
leek.
No, we don't.
No.
We don't.
You've been outvoted. You've been kicked off the podcast.
That's fine.
So I will start this off by giving it a 6 out of 5 eggs
Ooh!
because I'm eyeing that last one.
Do
it's
it.
really good.
I can make
Eat it.
more also.
All right, I'm doing it.
Yes, 5 out of 5 eggs because I believe in logic and caps and things ending.
I'm also going to do 6 out of 5 eggs because I did have a second one. So I feel.
So you have 10 eggs.
That's fair. I can go.
You're
as
only
far
giving me
as
a 6 out of 10.
I'm so sorry.
Jeez,
I will go.
I tried so hard.
I will go 10 out of 5 eggs because I
Oh.
had 2 and they were both 5 out of 5 experiences.
Well, there you have it, folks. French toast, not pizza rolls. A blessed experiment.
Blessed.
Thank you so much for listening to this edition of Christine's Cursed Kitchen Corner. I forget what we call it, but something like that. Alliterations are fun, friends. As always, this recipe can be found on our website, dnbpod.com/recipes. See you there!
Woo!
Do we want to tease the next one?
I believe we do.
Oh no. Jacob, is it you?
It's
Jacob,
still
it's
not
you.
me.
No, Jacob, it's you.
Ocean sounds.
Jacob, you
Ocean
get to
noises.
tease.
Caca! Oh, wait, no, that was the last one.
All right, Jacob, and tease.
I will participate, but still not run this dread.
Yes, unfortunately, it is I who will be running. And also, I guess we should say this. It will be the penultimate story of season 1. So the second to last before the finale. Hold on to your butts.
Marissa has laid a horrifically excellent foundation upon which we will build the house of our story.
I just want to say I have peeked at all of your character sheets, and you have all given me such gifts. Such gifts.
I've never heard the word gift used in quite such an intimidating manner before.
We'll have to see how it plays out.
It'll be great.
Next time on Dread and Breakfast.
But until then, have a scary life.
Have a scary morning, everyone.
A scary life. That is our new ending for the podcast.
I hate it. I don't like that. I don't
Thanks for
like
listening
scary
to Dread
life.
and Breakfast. Have a scary life.
Next time we'll have a better tagline. But until then, bye.
Bye.
This episode brought to you by my cats, who are eternally confusing to me, but they are my house goblins and I love them.
Thank you so much for listening to Dread and Breakfast. You specifically get an extra thank you because you came back for the breakfast part. Hey, half the name of the show, only a fraction of the episodes. Thank you so much for being here. By now you know the drill. I'm going to be thanking Eli Schneider for our theme song and original music. You can find him and his new band Open Doors on Spotify. Additional audio is in those episode notes. I'm also going to be thanking Morgan Mikuleski for this story's fantastic episode art. I am so in love with this art. I think it went so well with the story. If you want to find links to more of her work, it's on our website, dnbpod.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at dnbpod, find us on Twitter at dreadandbfast. If you like the show, give us a quick rating and review on the podcast app of your choice. And tell a friend about us. Thanks again for listening. Our next story is in the works. Be sure to keep an eye on our social media pages for its release date.
I have a clue for you, dear listener, about what it will be. Your clue is 2 words, board games. Have fun with that. Please, really. That's a solid clue. You're going to figure it out. Don't worry. You've got this. I believe in you. Peace out, bye.